Hey guys, it's Daniel Gomer, your local realtor, making another video today with another good friend of mine, Pete Cavalos from Flagstar. I just wanted to make another educational video and just kind of give you guys an update on what's going on in the market and what we're thinking is going to happen here in the next few months. So first off, before we get started, I just want to wish you guys the best, and I hope everyone is staying safe out there and staying healthy. I know Pete will say this as well, but if there's anything we can do to just help you guys out, please let us know. We'd be happy to do so. But like I said, we want to get into this today, dive in, and just kind of help you guys out with some current market trends on the mortgage side and real estate as well, just so we can kind of keep you guys updated throughout this COVID-19 pandemic and just kind of make sure we're all on the same page. So Pete, if you want to kind of say hi, introduce yourself, tell everybody watching a little bit about yourself, and we'll kind of dive into it.
Sure. Thanks, Daniel, for having me. Pete Cavalos, Flagstar Bank, been doing mortgages for about 11 years, and Flagstar Bank for about 3. I do a lot of first-time home buyer programs, and 90% of my business is purchase business, so pretty good at the purchases. And I want everybody to know that, stay safe, and if you do need anything, please reach out to us and we can help. That's really it.
Perfect. Yeah, no, Pete is awesome at his job. We refer a lot of business because I trust that he can get the job done, and my clients love him. Like you said, a lot of first-time buyers. He's super good at explaining to you guys the process, whether it's getting pre-approved, helping you with the process, the inspection, appraisal. He's very knowledgeable. So if you guys need anything, especially first time out there, please connect with him. Pete, I wanted to kind of get into it with what's currently happening. Everyone knows that the market in general is kind of slowed down. I mean, are people buying and selling? Yes. The answer is yes, 100%. And I've made other videos on this. We know the market is still moving, but it has slowed down. So if someone's out here watching who does need to buy a home, maybe they're getting a job transfer, maybe they just had a baby, something where they really do need to move here in the near future, what options are out there? I mean, I know we can do the process, we can help them buy, but can you kind of explain a little on your end? Has anything changed? What's different on the mortgage side currently, if anything?
Well, credit limits have changed and programs have been cut throughout the board. Across the board, every lender has limited programs due to the COVID-19. Our FHA minimums have went up to 660. Normally they're 600. VA as well has went up to 660. So a lot of the government programs have raised limits on credit.
Okay.
Requirements for down payment are the same. So 3% still conventional, 3.5% still FHA. Rates are ultimately the lowest they've ever been. So that helps with your buying power. Not too much has changed except for the raising of the credit limits, and then some programs have been cut just because there's not, lenders are scared to offer all these different programs right now because of all the stuff going on.
Sure. Okay. So the biggest thing, like you said, is the government backed, the FHA, USDA, MSHA, those type of things. They might have made it maybe a little more tough to get it approved. Maybe you have to have a higher credit score. But as far as your conventional, those are still relatively the same. And the down payments are staying the same, correct? Because I know a lot of people are thinking, now we have to have 20% down, but those lower down payment programs are still out there, right?
That's correct. I mean, Chase and Wells Fargo, Chase went to 700 minimum credit score and 20% down on all their products. They cut out all HELOCs. So but we are still doing equity lines of credit. We're still doing 620 for conventional financing. So that's also the same. MSHA is still 0 down, 1% down, 640. So a lot of the stuff's the same. If you do have a low credit score, it's hard to get approved, and might not get the best rate, but you're still going to. And I do work with people and say, hey, we can do credit analyzers where if you need 10, 20 points, we'll figure out a way to get you there, just so you can get qualified within a month and buy your house. So
Perfect.
I do a lot of that as well.
Okay. And that's actually, Peter, a great transition to, maybe, so we can help people who are looking to buy tomorrow, let's say. We definitely can make that work. You guys are still doing business as close to usual as you can. Obviously, you're at your home office and doing everything virtually. I'm doing the same. We have to do virtual tours and help with buyers doing that. We can still write offers virtually. The inspectors are essential. So most people out there know you have to write the offer, get it accepted, then do your home inspection, appraisal, finish the mortgage documents, and then you close. So your inspectors are still allowed to go, and the buyers are as well to the inspection. So you might not necessarily be able to see the house up front. So you got to talk with Pete, talk with me, get your approval, write the offer once we find the house, but you're not going to be able to see it most of the time until you get to the inspection. And then you can go see it with the seller's permission. So that's important. The seller has to agree, but you can go attend that inspection, make sure you still love the house and make sure there's nothing wrong with it. From there, then the appraisers are still essential. So the appraiser can still go out there, make sure the home is worth the value you're paying for it. And then the title companies are still able to do title work and get you to closing. Now you might do a curbside closing, or they're taking a lot of precautions, but you can still buy a house now. It's a little different. Everybody's had to adjust, but we can make it work. But what I want to transition to is, maybe you don't have to buy a house tomorrow. Maybe you were planning on buying a house this summer or this fall. And like you said, now's a good time to get your ducks in a row and get everything ready. And you'd mentioned if maybe somebody's credit isn't quite where they want it to be, would now be a good time to start that process? I mean, besides credit, like what other things should they start getting in touch with you now to prepare for and really get ready, so that when they are ready to buy a home, they're good to go?
Yeah, I mean, having me do analysis up front with income and credit is a no cost thing for the client. Even a 5-minute conversation, I get all their information, and then I review credit. I mean, I look at it every day, and I can give you pointers. I mean, paying collections off doesn't help. The best thing to do is paying down your credit card debt and getting under the 30%. So, I mean, a lot of times somebody has a maxed out credit card, and I'll say, hey, pay your credit card balance down, and the scores will jump. Or get it as an author. There's a lot of tricks that you learn throughout the business for doing it for such a long time.
Right.
So that's kind of get it done now. I've been steady approving people quite a bit in the last couple of weeks. So there's a lot of people waiting to buy a house, and they're going even now where people aren't being able to see them. You do get to see the home with your inspector, or you get a 30-page report with your inspector and you see it that way. Obviously, it's a lot different. You can't see the home and walk in it, which obviously I won't be able to do that maybe, but if your inspector allows you to go there or the seller allows you to go there, then it's a good idea. Now, I was going to go into the appraisal thing. We're doing a lot of appraisal waivers where even on purchases, I had one closed last week that no appraisal was needed. And we're doing a lot of refinancing where we don't even need appraisals to go out there. FHA doesn't even require appraisal to go in the house anymore, just drive-bys. So the appraisal part of it is obviously different than it used to be. But the inspection is something that it's not a requirement for the seller to even do, or the buyer to even do an inspection,
Right.
but it's a good idea.
Sure.
Do a very thorough job when you go in there. That was, yeah.
Okay. So they're making some adjustments to business as usual, quote unquote. So now you can maybe get an appraisal waiver or do a drive-by. Now, some might think that's a little scary, Pete. I guess let's highlight that for a minute. What would be the situation? Why would a client get an appraisal waiver? Is that something they should be nervous about? What are the pros and cons of that?
Well, I guess the cons of that is you're not going to have a third party tell you how much the home is worth. Do comparables. I mean, your agent should be able to give you comparables of the home anyway and say, hey, the house next door sold for the same price. Right. You will save $520. So that's a cost savings, obviously, of the appraisal. And that's really the only. Well, that's the con is you're not going to have a third party tell you what it's worth. The pro is you're not paying for it, and it'll reduce the time of us closing, because normally appraisal takes a week to 10 days to get back.
Right.
So it is something that we ask the borrower up front. Would you like to exercise the appraisal waiver? And that's up to the client. If you want one, you can have. If not, then you can waive it, which everybody normally waives it.
Perfect. Yeah.
But so.
And I've had some clients do it, and we've had clients together who get the waiver. So of course I know the answer to it. I just want everybody to see that if you have a good agent and a good lender, a good team behind you, you should know what the home is worth. I mean, the third party opinion from an appraiser, of course, that normal protocol, that's important. And I'm not saying you shouldn't get one, but in the current circumstances that we're under, if you trust your agent, which I personally think you should, if you're working with them, it's a pretty big deal. You should know you have a good agent and a good lender in your corner. You should know before you even get that offer accepted what the value of the home really is. So like you said, it can streamline the process, cut a couple weeks out of the closing process, get you to the closing table sooner. And like you said, save $450, $550, give or take on the appraisal. So again, just business a little different than what we've been used to. So again, so we can get you guys into homes now, like we said, and in the future, like Pete said, we can talk about maybe you need to pay down some credit card debt or do some different things. And Pete would love to work with you one-on-one of what might be best in your situation to raise that credit limit up, because it can do two things, right, Pete? It could, A, you might not qualify unless you do something about it, and B, you might qualify for a better program, which would be reduced fees or just a better long-term option for you as far as your mortgage. Is that correct?
That's correct. I mean, higher the score, the better for rate and for mortgage insurance. You're not putting 20% down, so
Right.
it will help you get a better rate. And then once you get over a 740 credit score, that's what you're getting the best possible rate. And for mortgage insurance too, if you do put down less than 20%. So yeah, the higher the score, the better. And of course, that's why we would like you to, obviously work. If you qualify, we're going to definitely get you up to the point. But normally paying down the credit card debt will help you get the scores up regardless. So definitely work on that. And then, unfortunately, one thing I wanted to touch on is Karma. How everybody's in love with Credit Karma. It's a great tool to monitor what's going on credit, what bets are on there, but it's not your actual scores. We're using, Credit Karma is Credit Wise, and that's a free service that, when we do FICO, that costs the bank $20-$30 to get your credit report, and we're getting your scores. So those scores are different from what you're seeing. So I definitely want to, just, I don't want you thinking that that's what you have. We need to see FICO really. Like I said, Credit Karma, great tool, just not your actual FICO score. So we need to see those as a lender, or really what you have.
Sure.
But again, we do that, and for no cost to you. Just it takes about 5 minutes for me to get it.
Okay, perfect.
Information from you.
So we definitely want to get kind of the wheels moving. If we're thinking of buying a house here in the summer, the fall, let's kind of get a game plan together. Let's get them in touch with you now, Pete, and we can kind of see. And maybe they don't need to do anything, and that's perfect. Maybe they're just ready to go, and when the timing's right, then they're ready. But if there are any options for them, we could kind of get that stuff going now, because some things do take a few weeks, couple months to kind of get that plan going. And I know, Pete, we've kind of talked about this, but if we've had a lot of clients out there who are wondering, what's happening with the market, what do we predict going down here in the next couple months? What do you see on your end? Do you have a backlog of buyers? Are they getting pre-approved now? Are they waiting for that inventory spike? Because we know the inventory is low, especially under the current situation. I see the inventory coming out strong here in the next couple months, and that's my opinion on it. What do you see on your end as far as the mortgages, the buyers? What are they all thinking and getting ready to do?
Like I said earlier, I mean, I've been being quite a bit of people. A lot of timelines have moved up for people that have school children. There's a kid in school anymore, so they're ready to move now. Some divorces, some people don't like their home anymore. It's a spring buying season. It's the busy time of year. It's the busiest time of our year. So everybody's kind of, as soon as the agents become essential, there's going to be a lot of houses on the market. There's going to be a lot of buyers. I'm not going to stop. And I have, quite a few appraisals that have come in the last 3 weeks that the values are perfect. So values have not really dropped. So that's a good thing. That's something that a lot of, clients are actually asking is the values are they going to drop? Everything's going to be cheaper. I don't see that coming soon because there's very, very low volume. Very low inventory.
Mm-hmm.
So it's, and I was actually hoping that the agents would have been allowed to show houses in May, but they extended it for 2 more weeks. May 1st, it's going to go crazy, but now we're moving it up. So there's way more pent up buyers out there ready to buy houses. So I think it's going to be really busy.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, like you said, this is the the spring market that we should be crazy 7 days a week flying around showing buyers houses and getting contracts done. So I agree. I think that pent up demand is there. Word on the street, we might maybe be able to get out there a little sooner than May 15th, but let's wait and see if that actually comes out or not.
I did hear that, but
so we'll see. And like you said, Pete, it's interesting. A lot of my clients and yours as well, they want to wait until the kids are out of school and then try to move during the summer because they don't want to pull the kid out during the school year. But now that they're done for the year, I agree. There's been multiple people saying, "Hey, I'm ready when you're ready. Once this you're allowed, let's get looking because now we can make that move. They have more time to consider their options." So you have that, and like you said, now we've had families stuck in their houses for weeks they're like, actually, I need a bigger house. This isn't working anymore.
Right.
We're on the verge of thinking we needed something. Now we see we definitely need a bigger house. So there are people out there
Okay,
such
I want
as,
to add something.
yeah, go ahead.
I want to add that when you do get your pre-approval letter, your pre-approval letter is good for 90 days. So even if you don't move now, you will be ready to go as soon as you find a home. So it's not like it's only good for a month. Your approval letter and your pre-approval will be good for 3 months. So you can get it now and just hang on and find, in 2 weeks go find a house. So it's not
Yeah,
like it has to be done a day before you find a home. And
yeah,
then you get your search and you start looking. You can drive around. Well, can you drive around? Drive around the homes, and if you're looking, you can look at the neighborhood, and that makes a big difference before you can see it, because you might not like the home or even the neighborhood before you even go see the inside of it. So that'll help you get started to in the process of buying a home.
yeah, yeah.
Oh,
No,
just
and
my
I think
2 cents there.
I tell my clients all the time to get their approval done up front, because that's number one. I mean, you want to know what you can afford, what you can get approved for, what your payments are going to be, and really kind of make a game plan financially of what you want to get yourself into on your new home. So I think that rule still applies, but now we have more time to kind of get that figured out. I mean, really try to plan what you're going to be doing here in the next few months, and get in touch with Pete and work those details out now, and look online and reach out to me, and we can start looking at homes that you can kind of see what you like and don't like, and just use this time wisely. If you're thinking of making a move, um, use this time and try to get everything squared away so you can make a good decision and be ready, because like you said, that market's coming, and I just don't want anybody to get behind the eight ball and try to get it pre-approved in 2 months and try to fight for houses then when everybody's ready to rock and roll. So just get everything ready now. um, and Pete, one last thing before we kind of close this up, what are the rates doing right now? Are they still, I mean, they've been record low so far this year. Are they still low? What do you think's happening the next, the rest of the year? What's your forecast on the actual interest rates for everybody out there watching?
That's a great question, Daniel. I mean, and I get that obviously all the time. Should we wait? Should rates go down? I mean, we're doing quite a bit of refinancing. Anybody that has a mortgage can pretty much save money right now if you refinance. Rates are obviously the lowest they've been ever, and I think that that's going to continue throughout the year. I don't think we're going to have much of a drop. Maybe go down a little bit, maybe go down a little more, but I don't see that possibly happening. I do see rates staying the same for the rest of the year, and I think the Fed and everybody kind of doesn't want to mess the economy up, even though it's going to be kind of messed up. After everybody comes back to work and all the things that we missed out, and all the money that's not being transferred. So I see rates staying at the low threes and going forward, which gives buyers way more buying power. Um, I do want to echo something about, or say something about the pre-approvals. Now, we are going to make sure you're at work. So if you're not working right now, I still am approving and saying, hey, well, you won't be able to close on your home until you're actually back to work. And
Sure.
then you just need to be back to work for a week before we can close. So you can buy a house today, go back to work at the end of the month and still close, or next month and still
Okay.
close on it. So you have to be back to work. We cannot use workman's comp income. And if you have a business, it has to be operational before we can continue, close your actual loan, because we will check 2-3 days before you close to make sure you're back to work or you're working full time and all that good stuff. So that's kind of where we've had a couple deals that have stalled out in the beginning of last month, because people got laid off and they're just waiting to get back to work to close. So 3 days before, you got to check before we close your loan, you got to be back to work.
Sure.
So
Okay.
I'm approving people with hypothetically they're going back to work right now.
Right. Got it. Okay. Makes sense. All right. Well, I think that about does it, Pete. Anything else for anybody out there thinking of buying, or maybe a seller who's thinking about when to put their home on the market? Any just last minute tips or tricks, any advice you'd have for them? Um, anybody out there looking?
Yeah, I don't really have anything extra I wanted to add. I think I've covered a lot. I just want to say, make sure everybody stays safe out there. This is obviously unprecedented. Wash your hands, wear your mask, all that good stuff. And then, get your approval done. That way, when we can come out of this, you can get yourself into a new home and move your family and enjoy get ready for the next quarantine we have in a couple years, possibly.
Perfect. Yeah. No, and of course, I second that to everybody out there watching. First off, thanks for tuning in, and I hope this was helpful. Pete's a great guy. He knows his stuff. So if you guys have any mortgage questions, please reach out. I'll make sure all his contact info is here for you. But yeah, please stay safe, stay healthy. If there's anything we can do to help you guys out, please just let us know. We'd love to do that. And if you're thinking of making a move, buying or selling, please reach out, and we can walk you through it step by step. So again, Pete, thanks for stopping by. We do appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next one. All right.
Thank you for having me, Daniel. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.